Welcome into the PHNX Coyotes podcast live show, brought to you by our friends over at Four Peaks. I feel like we were just doing this.
Just a little bit of deja vu
Yeah,
all
we were
over
just
again.
here. This is still Steve Peters. I'm still Sean DePaz. Allie's still behind the Mac, and we are still live at Love and Exile here in Nashville, Tennessee. We just did a 3.5 hour live show.
Let's do more.
Live reacting to the draft. And we're here to do more. And we thought, we obviously the Arizona Coyotes are trying to become more of a winning franchise.
Yes.
So we figured why not talk to a couple of men
That
who
know
a
about
thing
winning.
or two about winning hockey and know a thing or two about dressing for success, apparently. Our friends Rudo and AJ from DNVR. Guys, how are we doing?
What up, fellas?
It's a little
Look at
warm,
that.
but not as warm as it is out there.
Yeah, well, first off, so what's the story behind the suits? Where did this
dress
come from?
code? What the, buddy, nobody told us about a dress code.
Yeah, I know.
What's
We're
what's the story without the suits? What are you guys doing?
Buddy,
That's a good point.
Have you been outside
it's
in
hot
Nashville?
and sticky here. That's what we're doing.
Suits would be
This
terrible.
is a bad. This
right now.
outside idea sounded good at the start. Bad idea for a 4-hour show with really bright lights on. Because rumor has it there's bugs here.
Yeah,
didn't know
there's a few of them
Did
flying
not
around.
plan ahead for the bugs.
We didn't plan for the Bucks. We also did not plan for the Arizona Coyotes to draft
Two
two Russians that aren't named Matvei Michkov in the first 15 picks of the NHL draft. So I guess from an outsider's perspective, what are your guys' reaction to what the Arizona Coyotes did in the draft today?
Well, I think if you guys want high entertainment, go watch our live show when they made the pick, because we both loved the Dmitri Simashev pick.
Yeah,
You're
We
kidding me.
We were all in. We thought it was a great idea. We thought it was a great pick. We are 100% on board with this plan. We think it's great. We both love it.
For real? Like, don't just say that because you're
Yes.
on our show
Yeah.
right now.
Oh,
AJ, don't tease me, buddy.
Unironically, go watch, go pull the clip from our show, and you'll see that we were both all in
There-
on it. We love it. We
like-
love this.
will not lie to you. There is some risk there that he ends up busting. But if he hits, he could genuinely be Arizona's #1 D for the foreseeable future.
He could be
Yeah.
he could be the best defenseman the Coyotes have ever had since moving to Arizona.
Buddy,
Wow.
where
He
the
is a physical specimen that is extremely hard to find.
Where were you 3 hours ago?
Yeah, where was this?
Because it was getting a little apocalyptic here in Coyotes Nation. But I feel like everything we've heard from people who actually know
Yeah,
a thing
that's
or two
true.
about hockey
Yes.
have said that they are pretty big fans of particularly
Talk
the
us off
Dmitri
the
pick.
cliff.
Thoughts on the Daniil boot pick, though?
Not nearly as universal in our excitement about
Yeah.
the pick, but we both really like the player.
Okay.
Well,
It felt a little aggressive for sure, but when you look at how Arizona is constructed, I think especially, they decided to go get size at this draft.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Boo absolutely does that.
Yeah. The guy that we kind of keep comparing to Tage Thompson, and who said that Tage Thompson was his favorite player,
Buddy.
by the way.
I like that.
So, I mean, I guess just looking at this draft more generically, how did you feel about them going for a defenseman that high, particularly a defenseman that was not, at least apparently to the people who don't know any better, not that highly
Which
ranked?
is us. We
Yeah,
don't know any better.
how do you think, I guess, kind of that strategy, especially considering the fact that Matvei Michkov was still on the board for the Coyotes there at 6?
I will say the fact that they turned around and went with Daniil Boot after this was really kind of odd, that they didn't just roll the dice with Michkov, who has the kind of potential to be a generational talent at the 6th pick. That doesn't track with me, but if they had decided that they weren't going to give themselves the potential headache of kind of untangling the web of what was going on with Michkov, Simashev is a guy that, I mean, it is the exact opposite of when the Coyotes took Barrett Hayton over Quinn Hughes and played it really safe and got a little too cute with it and shot themselves in the foot. This is going for it in a very big way. They might have picked him a couple picks too soon if you really wanted to quibble with it, but he wasn't going to make it to 12.
Yeah.
I guarantee you,
Wow,
Stone
that's
Cold
great.
Lock was not going to make it to 12.
So, I mean, to me, that was the moment of the night. You watch Montreal pick Reinbacher,
Yep.
Yep.
and then Arizona walks up and tomahawk dunks Simashev
Yeah.
over their heads.
Yep.
And these are the types of home run swings you have to take to build teams that want to compete.
So from your guys' opinion, and I know this is what people do on these draft shows, and they trade. Do you have a comparable that's out there in the NHL right now? Is there somebody that can go, he can be this, and on the upside for a Coyote fan to go, okay, this is the guy, he can be this?
Boy.
I mean, is he a Victor Hedman? Is he offensively gifted enough at his size to be Victor Hedman?
Hey, I would say if he gets to his ceiling, I think a Victor Hedman-like career could be in store. I don't think he'll ever hit 70 points, but if he's a 40 to 50 point guy every single year that plays in all situations.
I mean, I look at Mo Sider.
Okay.
Yeah, and a guy who rookie of the year, by the way, just
Hey, I'll
throw that out there.
Take that.
Yeah. So basically, and I know you guys have had worked just as long and hard.
Between
as
Hedman
we
and
have.
Sider.
What's that?
You guys have worked just as long and hard as we have here, with a little less heat and a little more noise because you're in the DNVR bar. We are moderately jealous of that because all they do in the DNVR bar is win.
Win, apparently, yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is. We were so unexperienced.
We're not here to talk about their success. We're here to talk about the potential struggles and annoyances with the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah, so we do want to thank you guys for jumping on. I know you guys had to stay a little bit later, but I think for Coyote fans, you guys put everybody at ease, and that's exactly what we wanted to hear. And we wanted to see two guys that are actually seen more than just a YouTube highlight, and that's what we're looking at here. And so thank you guys for taking the extra time and talking a little bit about Simashev and Daniil for our Coyote fans.
And showing us up in the fashion game.
Buddy, I'm just sick about it right now.
Disgusted.
Yeah.
The Shady Rays sunglasses.
Shady Rays.
Who wore it better, us or the Arizona Coyotes with the suits?
Okay, I'll give you the edge just because of the Shady Rays, but if we're going strictly suits, I don't think you'll hold a candle to our boy GMBA.
GMBA. So you guys, if you would have matched,
where's your matching suits? You should have pulled out some matching Avalanche
Rudo,
maroon suits.
I will say this, Rudo, if you looked at the new thing in the NHL draft, the NBA draft, their drip was sick, but in the NHL, everybody was about the lining of the coat. When the guys took off the coat, they had pictures in there, they had logos in there. That's the new thing. We got to get the custom suit with the interior lining.
Yeah, I think it's the
vest
wave.
was the best one. Well, all the names on his back of his vest.
Oh,
who did that?
Philly?
Yeah, Fantilli.
Oh, see, give it to an American to come with the drip.
I was a little distracted by the fact that he was not drafted second overall, but that's a conversation for another time. Anything else as far as is your guys' draft night, our draft night, before we let you guys get out of here?
Rumor has it we have somebody ready to talk to us from the draft.
I do think it's kind of funny that you guys are bummed about your picks and we're super excited about them.
And we're really
bummed about
picks.
the Avalanche picks. So.
Well, I mean, real quick, why? What's Colorado or Yotes fans are invested in the failure of the Avalanche? Not us personally. We want you to succeed, but Coyotes fans can't speak the same. How do you think your night went? Briefly.
Yeah, I mean, so neither one of us are big Cal Ritchie guys, so we were pretty disappointed with that one. The Russian defenseman at 31, honestly, I have no issues with. He's ultra dynamic, and he's gonna wreak all kinds of havoc. It's not gonna be in the NHL for 5 years, so it's hard to feel too excited about it when it's like Nathan McKinnon will be 35 when that guy makes his rookie debut. Yeah. So,
wow.
Just about time for another parade down Colfax.
Hey, so Coyotes fans, for those of you that were not feeling too good about the draft night, the winners said that we had a pretty good night. So
yeah, and I trust. By the way, when you talk about hockey opinions and guys that are getting drafted, trust those two more than these two.
Oh, yeah, we didn't know
what
what we were talking about.
Hell no.
No. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the Avs, their picks and their draft and everything going on in Colorado Avalanche, follow Rudo and AJ and Megan and Jesse, who are here in Nashville, DNVR_Avs on Twitter.
Anything Avs, they got it.
Yeah, they got it on lock. Guys, we very much appreciate you giving us a few moments and giving us your thoughts.
Yeah, appreciate you guys so much. Thanks, man.
Have fun on Broadway.
We ain't going.
But we're not going. We got to work. Boop.
Yeah, we're
Allie,
tons of work.
By the way, with dessert just arrived. I thought Allie ordered this one.
I did, but there's ice cream, and okay, let me grab a piece.
No, grab a piece. That's all for you.
So the ice cream is yours.
All for me.
We got the sundae with the crinkle things.
I know. We got both.
Well, okay. So
is the other one over there?
Secret. Hasn't come yet. A little secret.
Go get more plates.
I don't like chocolate.
Yeah, so he can't eat
you
chocolate.
Don't want the cookie. Okay.
I don't personally.
Yeah, so
I appreciate it very much. while you
There's
figure
plates
out
right there.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
plates
I
right
mean,
there.
you can figure out. I have to listen. I got to pay the bills.
Okay,
You can figure out
you
the
do
ice
that.
cream and stuff. I got to pay the
Read
bills.
something.
I got to tell the people about BetMGM. Our friends over at BetMGM.
Allie's worried. Allie's worried she's going to get on camera. Like, really? This is all city fam right here.
Allie, do you know how we do our BetMGM rates here?
Oh,
We got a disclaimer. I think the disclaimer should be in there. We might be on camera still. That's fine. I think it should be in the sound thing if you can find the sound panel somewhere. Petey's going to figure out the food. I'm going to keep telling you about BetMGM. I hope you placed your bets before you came out to Nashville because at BetMGM, you had an opportunity to make some pretty good money on Leo Carlson going second overall. Just saying, if you saw that coming, I don't know. But shout out our friends at BetMGM. It's Wednesday right now. On Friday, set your alarm, put something in the calendar if you need to. Every Friday, free bets from BetMGM. Now, for the next 3 weeks, the claim period extends through Saturday and Sunday, so you got 72 hours to log in from Friday and claim that bet, and then you get another 72 hours to use the bet. So log in at any point during the weekend. We get back on Friday with perfect timing, so I can log in, get my free bet. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use bonus code PHNX. Check out the full show notes for details, and now listen to the one, the only Shane Dievenbach talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
Peace. You're already chuckling. That's because the ice cream's already soupy. Is that why?
We get vanilla ice cream outside in Nashville.
Yeah.
Again, not the smartest two guys on the internet tonight.
No. Speaking of outside of Nashville, tons of bright lights.
Buddy, outside Nashville, do you see any neon?
Oh, tons of neon. And if you want to get a little flavor of Nashville in your home, your dorm, your office, and a little neon, check out our friends over at Saturday Neon. It's a company started by two friends in their dorm room. And they make officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs. I know our friends down south at School Down South, U of A, they have a licensing agreement with our friends over at Saturday Neon. So there's officially licensed U of A Saturday Neon merchandise. And if you head over to SaturdayNeon.com, use code PHNX, you'll get 10% off your order today with free shipping on orders over $200. It's a perfect gift, perfect present, perfect just home decor. You got to treat yourself. My birthday's coming up. Might get myself some Saturday Neon. We'll see. But yeah, head over to Saturday Neon.
We got one in the office of the U of A, and it's fire.
Use code PHNX. Now
here's again.
I didn't even know he was joining us. I thought he was going to be too busy writing.
Too busy writing.
We got the one, the only.
The one, the only.
The I don't know. What do we need a better nickname for
Myth, legend, Craig S. Morgan, Elevator Craig.
Elevator Craig, the one, the only. I don't know. It's Craig Morgan.
Feral Craig?
Shadow Craig?
Feral Craig?
Feral Craig.
Yeah.
There's the first reference of feral people in the postgame.
See, there it is. On the new show, that's right.
Buddy, I'm eating ice cream while we talk because it's literally melting into soup.
I might, nibble on a little. Allie's getting in a cookie. I might nibble on a little pizza. Craig, we had ourselves an interesting day one of the draft for the Arizona Coyotes. Obviously, we talked during the live show, but now that the draft is all over, just reactions to the Arizona Coyotes draft night as Allie fights for her life with a cookie skillet to my right.
Yeah. So we're talking about rails. They you should try to stay on them. We're gone.
But yeah, Greg, reactions to the first night for the Arizona Coyotes.
Well, I had questions the last time I was on with you guys just a little while ago about how they were able to be so confident in these guys, given how difficult it's been to watch Russian players. Well, they did get live viewings. They got live viewings. They told us
they
that.
Did.
So,
wow. Okay.
And they were blown away by that. And I'm going to save some of those details for my story so that someone actually comes and reads my story. There's something left to talk about by the time I get off with you guys. But they did get live viewings and came away blown away by these guys.
That's awesome.
And you have to assume then they also got live viewings of Matvei Michkov? Is that a safe assumption? If they were over there?
Didn't ask that, but, they met with Matvei Michkov.
Yeah, that's enough said. We've talked about that enough and all of our other shows. So, if you know, you know.
But I mean, for Coyotes fans, I feel like that's got to be a little reassuring, right? It was one of the initial things. This is a huge risk, especially considering that we didn't think they were even able to watch any of these guys play recently. That's one of the conversations we had during the show. It is, I think, pretty good to know that they did actually get a chance to see them play live somewhat recently.
And further than that, like you know what the scouting process normally looks like, where you get to know people on a personal level. They were able to do that. I was actually surprised with some of the information that I got. So they really had a pretty complete picture of these two guys before taking them. The interesting thing was that in these live viewings, there's basically one other NHL team there for these live viewings. So there weren't a lot of people getting these live viewings. The Coyotes scouting staff was grinding, and they got a good look at these two guys. Again, I just got done talking to Chris Peters, and that'll be in my story as well as Corey Proman. There are a lot of teams that had this guy rated highly, but there's the risk of whether they're willing to come over from the KHL when they're getting paid well. They would be willing to spend some time in the AHL if that becomes necessary. A lot of Russian players are not. And then just keeping tabs on these guys and their development and trying to stay present in their development when they're playing in the KHL is not easy. That's not a development league, first of all, if they end up there. So it's a little harder to have input there. There's some variables at play, but as Chris Peters put it, they bet on ceiling here. And what was interesting to me with Daniil But in particular, Chris Peters said his ceiling is unbelievably high. He said maybe one of the highest ceilings in this entire draft, which was fascinating to hear.
Do you think that there's anything to the two of them being drafted, and they're clearly friends and they know each other and they're familiar with each other? Do you think that's going to play in their development and their ability to get both of them to come over here?
No question. You have support, right? You know how hard it is. Well, you don't, because you never travel, Petey. You don't like to travel, but the rest of us like to travel. And it's really difficult. You need support when you're going into other cultures. You need some comfort, right? So to have a friend, and if you could have seen Simashev's reaction when they drafted But, it was priceless. He was so excited for it. So to know that those guys are going to be working together and coming into the organization at the same time, I'm sure that's a comfort to both of them.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for us here, and I'll be as honest as I can, during the draft show itself, there was some what? Like what? First, we were surprised that Michkov was available, and then you go, and we're picking a guy from Russia, and we go, oh my God, they're going to take Mitch. Who? And we had to thumb through our guide and go, Simashev. We talked about him once, about being big, and that was it. So we were moderately surprised and a little bit taken aback. It was that honestly, it was a similar feeling to the Bolt. Like what? What just happened? We weren't expecting that. And then the longer the night wears on, and you start to hear people in the know. People that know about these players particularly well and have seen these guys play, they say Simashev could be, and I'll preface it with could be, he could be the real deal. And he could be a very stalwart defenseman for this team for a very long time.
The question, I guess, is the offensive upside. He hasn't shown enough of that yet. Did a little more in juniors, especially with the second team within Yaroslavl. He showed a little more offensive output, but you're going to need to see that side of it develop a little bit more. But the fact that he's so big, the fact that he skates so well, and he's so sound defensively already between his defensive zone play, retrieving pucks, gaps, all that's in place already, which is usually what you have to work on so much with a defenseman. That's really interesting to me. I don't know if he's going to pan out to be a top pair defenseman, but even if you get a top four guy, they're so valuable at his size, with his mobility. There's some value there.
Petey's currently writing notes to me.
What's going on here?
We've been sitting here for 5 hours.
Petey was writing me notes telling him to pass
the
damn
cookie.
got a flatbread. I think we got more ice cream coming at some point too. We're trying to enjoy it when we're here,
buddy. It's love and exile.
Let's love and exile.
Yeah,
I think when in Rome, which you actually know about being in Rome. I don't, but never mind.
And you never will.
Truer words never been spoken.
Anything else interesting from your conversations that you had after the draft?
Yeah, I mean, we did get to talk to Daryl Flandowski and Ryan Jankowski as well, and the first thing I said to Daryl was forward heavy draft, huh? I basically feel like I can't trust them anymore. They really kept this one quiet. Nobody saw this coming. I mean, everybody was talking about this was going to go like 8 forwards deep before we saw a defenseman get picked. If one defenseman was going to pick, it was going to be Reinbacher, which did happen. But then you end up getting 3 defensemen going fairly high, and the Russian factor didn't matter either because we saw 3 Russians go high as well. So it was they did a really good job of keeping a lid on this one.
Yeah. Anything else from?
Well, no, I
from
just can't wait
Craig
to get
before?
Craig here because, as Craig knows, there's a very, 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 very famous wall here
Yes.
Yeah.
at Love and
You've seen the Wall of Shame? Yeah.
Buddy, we've been here for 7 hours. What
We've
do you
seen
think?
everything.
Yeah, buddy, we know our way around Love and Exile.
Yeah.
We're all good. So
It's a good spot.
I will say this: by the end of the night tomorrow, I expect to see a few more cans on the wall. That's all I'm going to say. And
All right. That sounds good. You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to hang up. I'm going to go right, and Leah Barrow's going to call in and fill some more airtime for
Fantastic,
you
Craig.
guys.
Thank you so much for all your hard work and boots on the ground and helping us get through this really long night. And you know what? Coyotes fans, be reassured. I think this could work out extremely well in the long run. Just be patient.
Yeah. Just before I go, any chance of getting leftovers?
No.
But we just ordered another flatbread.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be gone.
It'll be
Appreciate
gone.
that.
You
Yeah.
can order your own food tomorrow.
Buddy.
It'll be here. We'll all be here.
All right, guys.
Okay.
I'll
See
see you
you
in a
later,
while.
buddy.
I believe we also got some sound from BA from the draft floor.
Yes.
So can I say this before we show this?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many shows right now live in Phoenix
Yes.
are showing Bill Armstrong video?
How many? Probably 0. I can guarantee you the number of shows that are showing Bill Armstrong video while eating cookie skillets live on air is definitely 0.
100%. There is nobody in the state of Arizona that's getting you this kind of
I
coverage.
bet you there is not another soul on the planet who is broadcasting, talking about the NHL draft while also eating a cookie skillet.
I will not.
I don't think there's not a person in the
people
league.
that think this is unprofessional. Like, buddy,
Eat your heart out.
we've been here for 6. Like, we've got to eat.
Also, even if we didn't, get over yourself. I don't care.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
throw
part
it
of
over
the
to Bill Armstrong and see what he had to say after
a
the
fan.
draft today.
We've talked a lot about your love of size, especially on the back end. What does that do for you to have a guy? Not only that has the size and the reach, but has the mobility.
Yeah, like I said, those guys are impossible to trade for. They're hard to get. So for us to be able to key in on the draft, and we felt as a staff, just pick the best player. Pick the best player, and that's what we did. We put him on the board, and for us, he was a really unique player at that size. And what he could bring, not only that, our character and our culture, he fits right in.
With Boot, how do you project him? Obviously a massive frame, but what kind of
He's
player
kind of
is
like a combination of a little bit of a Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck type player. His dad was drafted by the Devils. We just love to compete in him. He's a difference maker. He wants to make a difference, and he's got size. So for us, that size and skill factor is a real big advantage for us, we feel, because we've drafted the Geekies now. We've added the McBains, we've got the Krauses, we've got a little bit of size, we also got some skill. So to have him to have both is for us, it's just an excitement that I can tell you. When we put them on the board, both of them, we said let's draft the best 2 players that we can, and for us, they were those guys.
What does development look like? And when you look at him and say, okay, these are the areas that we need to see progress.
Well, I think for Simashev, it's just refining what's already there. I think with Boots a little bit rawer. He reminds me like a Tage Thompson. He's going to take a little bit longer because of his length. He looks to me like he's grown since we last seen him. I think he's almost close to probably 6'6". So it's he's going to take a little bit longer, same as Tage Thompson did. But what you get is that skill factor with the size, and that's hard to find. We project him somewhere between a first to a second line player.
Development-wise, how do you keep moving these guys over there? What's the challenge?
There's ways to do it. I think through Zoom is probably the greatest invention for our guys to talk. There's translation. Both those guys speak really good English, so that's a plus for us. And there's still places where you can go to see them in the winter, getting into a few different places to watch them play, and we'll keep a good eye on them and help their development. But they're with a really great club over there.
We talked about the Russian factor before the draft. Clearly, it didn't matter again because 3 went in the top 12.
Yeah.
Is that any consideration at all for you?
Listen, there's risks. You draft players, there's always type of risks. You draft college guys and they don't report sometimes, there's a risk. You have to weigh that risk, and for us, there's risk sometimes just in human nature. Sometimes, players get injured. So our thing was just to take the 2 best players on the board that we thought would fit our culture, and those were those 2 players that we selected. Size, skill, good compete, and they're workers. Those guys come to the rink every day to make a difference.
Pretty cool that they were teaming.
Yeah.
Does that factor into it?
It does. It does. It does factor in because, if you look at the teams that have won, most times, like there's Sergachev and Kucherov, and there's. I think it does help to have two players sometimes from the same country to come in and have that relationship for them. They can navigate it both together and continue to work on their English, and that's a big thing for us. So we're really excited about landing both of them.
Seems Jeff's face lit up when you drafted him.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, he's a special not only hockey player but human being too.
So this past week, did you have interviews with them over here?
Yes, we did. Yeah, we continued that. We have a process that we go through with medicals and that kind of stuff, and they weren't at the combine, so for us, we had to make sure that we conducted all our tests. Psychological, fitness testing, along with I was going to say, sorry, the doctor's reports.
Size and compete.
Yep. Again, we've talked about this before, and until he gives us a reason not to, we're going to trust in GMBA.
Yeah, he likes his picks. So we're going to have a couple new kids moving to Arizona. What you need when you move to a new place.
What do you need?
New furniture.
Where do you go for furniture?
I mean, if you're in Arizona, there's only one place to go.
Has Allie been to our? You've been to our studio?
Of course.
And you've seen the fantastic more furniture?
Of course, I built some of that furniture.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Well, some of these new prospects might need you to help them build some furniture as well.
I don't know.
Actually, they probably won't, because our friends over at More Furniture, they got the White Glove delivery service. They'll set everything up for you.
About the White Glove.
Yeah, we can ask Leah.
Here's the most unprofessional podcast. I'm walking out.
Okay.
Keep talking.
All right. Bye, Petey. I'll keep talking to you about More Furniture. You can save big on the best furniture in the Valley when you head to morefurniture.com. So I'll be sending that link over to Dmitri and Daniil. We also have to shout out our friends over at Shady Rays. I mean, you saw at the beginning of the show. Rudo and AJ, they stole it. They stole the show. Why? Not because of their suits. I mean, their suits were good, but it was because of their shades. And then Shady Rays, duh. You saw Rudo. You look at the Pit Viper style glasses. Those are our friends over at Shady Rays. Oh, Petey went to go get another.
I thought he went to the bathroom.
That's what I thought too. He just went to get another beer.
Buddy,
I understand it.
Yeah, it's hot.
I love that you're drinking Yingling. Obviously, if Four Peaks is out here,
but buddy, there is no doubt if there was 4 Peaks, I'd be lifting the kilt now. Kilt lifter,
are you kidding me?
Buddy, kilt lifter right now at this time of night, money. It is always my go-to. Everybody knows that's my go-to. I've even taken a pic of Blink 182. I gotta see Blink 182 all the small things live. Yep, there you go.
That's incredible.
Were you wearing sunglasses when you did it?
I was not.
No, you should have
been. Should I have been?
You should have been wearing Shady Rays. Use
like
code
AJ
PHNX.
and Rudo?
Yeah.
I can't wear the ones Rudo had on. Those are awful.
Those are the ones Sean just
buddy,
bought.
What are you, baby driver? Like what is that?
Listen,
they're great.
They look good.
Buddy.
Listen, that's okay. Another great thing about Shady Rays, they got stuff. They got stuff for Petey. They got stuff for me.
I'm a 55-year-old man.
They got stuff for everybody at Shady Rays.
They
Man,
do.
woman, child.
I want more classic Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he's going to be wearing aviators. I'll be wearing my Pit Vipers.
I'm 55.
And we'll both be looking good.
We will
because
we're live again.
We're live again.
Same stream and all.
Technically, it's what happens,
buddy. That's what happens.
In Nashville,
the
things
fact
go
that
right.
nothing happened during the 4 hour show.
I'm saying,
is incredible.
Thankfully it didn't.
But so the people driving in their cars tomorrow on their way to work, they won't notice what just happened, will they?
No.
Unless we let them notice.
I don't know how that works.
Right now, you kind of let them notice.
Caleb Reedy
just did that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Whoops.
What were we talking about? So
I know we're saying at the end of the day, we're these
Shady
good
Rays.
picks.
Shady Rays ad just ended.
Shady Rays ad just ended.
2, 1. So Petey, I know we kind of talked about this already, but when you look at these 2 picks, were they good picks for the Arizona Coyotes?
It's funny the mood, how much the mood changes over the last 3 hours, and I think the biggest problem is we sit on the outside and we're not on the inside. We don't know. We don't watch these guys play. The truth is we sit there and we have to follow other people's judgment on this, and it's the media people we listen to because we don't watch. We don't know. So 3 hours ago, we're like, God, who the hell are these guys? We don't know. And so after talking to more draft experts and hearing it from the people on boots on the ground and people that had eyes on these guys live, this might turn out to be a really, really, really good draft. And we talked about it during the other show about the times the Coyotes had multiple picks in the first round and they blew it. This may be the one where we look back, this is killer Chikrin.
Yeah.
That's what we could be looking at in 3-4 years from now. So just Yeah, dial it back a little bit. We're all good. I think we're happy with Simashev now.
I've definitely come around on it a lot more. We've got a special guest. We'll get there in a second. I just want to answer Caleb's question in the chat real quick. Asked if Shady Rays makes prescription sunglasses for PD. They do. They make prescription sunglasses at Shady Rays. So check them out. Code PHNX.
They also do blue light glasses.
Yes, they do. I have a pair of the blue light
love them.
glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
very
use them
nice.
for my
I mean, I'm on the
headaches.
computer all the time.
Yeah.
We all are.
They're
So the blue
really
light glasses
great.
are super nice. I believe the person that's about to join us as well also has a pair of. I know she has a pair of
Blue
Shady
light
Rays.
glasses?
I think she's tried the blue light glasses
Buddy,
before.
for sure.
The one and only, the hockey goddess, Leah Merrill. Leah, how are we doing?
Good. I'm good. How are you guys?
Well, the stream froze for a moment there,
Yeah,
which made
we
us a
kinda
little.
went down for a second.
Yeah.
Hey, but
That's
you
a
know,
little stressful.
this is why we got Allie behind the match. She got us up and running post haste.
And by the way, if you want to order, and by the way, the food here at 11 XL fire,
buddy. Shout
But
out
if you're gonna order
You
a dessert,
guys, I'm
Leah.
starving. Stop
Oh,
tempting me.
boo-hoo.
But we got our second.
We've been
pizza.
sitting out in the heat for 5 hours, so.
But if you want ice cream,
True.
and you want to get a good dessert at 11 XL, highly recommend you try to eat it inside.
And instantly.
Because vanilla
Turn
ice
into
cream
soup.
outside in 90-degree weather in front of
buddy.
bright lights.
No.
Not a smart idea. We now got a bowl of milk in front of us.
Yes, we do. But it was tasty.
Lessons learned.
Hey, that's
Lessons
not why we're
learned
here.
for tomorrow.
Not why we're here.
We're here for, I guess, hockey, whatever. No, Leah.
I guess.
What I mean, we talked to you earlier during the show. We talked to Craig already, but I guess first, now that you've had a little bit of time to sit with it, just how are you feeling after day one of the NHL draft for the Arizona Coyotes?
You know what? I'm feeling good, and I think like the weird thing about this year, and I think I mentioned this on the last show. I can't even remember now. Like there were no trades in the first round, which feels very different from last year. Last year, the Coyotes made 2 trades in the first round to move around, and that just felt so chaotic. So for them to just stick at 6-12 and that was it. It was like, oh, and nobody else traded. It was so bizarre, but in a good way. And we actually got to ask the scouts about that, and they said that because this draft is so deep, like everyone had their guy, and no one was really willing to move on from the guys that they had circled. So that was kind of the reason they gave for why there weren't really many trades.
Yeah. I think it's going to be funny, Leah, from what you just said, and we talked about this in a lot of our lead-up draft prediction shows. Is there are so many good players, and it depended on either A, what you needed, B, what your scouts liked, and there are so many teams that are going to walk away from this draft going, we got our guy. Like we got our guy at 22, 23, 25. We got our guy. And so do you think when the wind kind of came out of our sails at 6 when we saw Matvei Michkov available, and the Coyotes went to Russia and took a player we haven't talked about, Dmitri.
They didn't
Simashev.
go to Russia. But
Dmitry Simashev. So, do we think now that you've had a moment for that pick to sink in, how are you feeling about the 2 picks that the Coyotes actually made today?
You know, I think I'm still processing. I think it's just hard to reconcile the fact that we've spent 2 months talking about Ryan Leonard, Will Smith, Dalibor Dvorsky, Matthew Wood, Zach
And so many
Benson.
of them were there. And that's the part where
Everyone
we talked
was
about
there.
them. We talked about all of those guys.
Everyone was there. Yeah. And I think that was what was hard for me, because then they make the pick and you're like, at first when they said, it's so funny, like when they said, oh, from Locomotive, and for some reason my brain was just like, oh, Russia. Like, they're
exactly.
thinking
You see, if you watch the thing, my hands go up because I think, oh, Matvei Michkov is a Coyote.
Yeah.
And then they said the name, and I was like, okay, I definitely have heard that name before, but like I couldn't place it. Like I didn't even know if he was a border, a defenseman, or anything. So, you know, I think like the more I talk to Bill Armstrong, the more we talk to the scouts, and obviously, you know, we say this every year. Nobody's gonna say, oh, we really missed on that one. Like they're obviously thrilled. We'll see in a few years' time how this really plays out. But you know, we've talked also for weeks about the Coyotes needing to bolster their defensive pool. That's what this pick does at number 6, and add size for Bill Armstrong. Bill Armstrong loves his big players, and these guys are 6'4", 6'5", and he said that Daniil Boot has grown since they last seen him. They think he might even be approaching 6'6" now. They weren't at the combine, so they weren't able to, you know, take those official measurements from the NHL. But yeah, crazy stuff.
We actually have a picture here of the moment that the Arizona Coyotes passed on Matvei Michkov and drafted Dmitri Simashev.
That's fantastic content.
Hands went up because I heard Russia. Shout out Espo for sending us that pic. My hands went up because I heard Russia, and then my face I just kind of froze once I heard Dmitri.
It's funny. I always, but this is what it's so hard about the business that we do. We sit there for months talking about this and planning for this and doing things, same as we did for the vote. And then all of a sudden, stuff just happens, and you're like,
Can I tell you that I had like a moment when they picked at 6 where I was taken back to May 16th, where I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah, well,
we did.
And
so did our
that's what I tried to explain to people, and I didn't want to sound too dramatic, but I think in the context of everything that's been going on with the Arizona Coyotes, and then you draft these two guys who, to a lot of, especially, I mean, I don't say this in any kind of derogatory way because it was for us too, but for casual fans, like, you're like, who the hell are these guys? This isn't one of these big names we've been talking about. It just felt like another loss for the Arizona Coyotes in the moment.
Yeah,
and then we obviously heard the people who know a thing or two about hockey tell us that this is probably a pretty good pick. Rudo and AJ were on with us earlier, and they said that in the moment they were celebrating the pick for the Coyotes because they loved the Simashev pick.
Loved it.
And obviously we heard from Craig Button. You talked to Craig Button during the draft. He had good things to say. So I think in the moment it felt a lot worse than obviously we all kind of feel now.
I think it was more the shock,
It wasn't. That's what I tried to explain too. Was it has nothing to do with these kids that they drafted or how good they are or not or whatever. It was really just like you had said. We spent so much time talking about these guys that became big names, and those big names were still there, and they were like, "We're going to go with this guy you've never heard of." It felt like I hate using this term because of how it's been lobbed around, but it felt like a poverty franchise move. It felt like one of those franchises that is constantly stuck in mediocrity in the moment. But obviously, like I said, I think now that we've heard from you and Craig and the people that you've gotten a chance to talk to, AJ and Rudo, I think I can speak for a lot of Coyotes fans where it feels like we're in a much better place than we were in the immediate aftermath of the pick.
Yeah, no, Nicholas in the chat said it's got a very Pietrangelo and Perico vibe, and two big defensemen that can move. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, it turns out if you go turn the clock back a little bit, do you remember the St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup? Nobody asked what number did you get picked at in the draft. Nobody will give a shit. Nobody will care. So if we're parading down Mill Avenue and we all get to throw our little parade like
not
they
Mill,
did.
PD. We're not going to Tempe.
Oh, we're going to Mesa now. We're going to Country Club Drive. Okay, we have the parade down Country Club. Then, or I don't know, rural.
I don't know.
But wherever the hell we're going, no one's going to go. Oh, what pick did we get that guy at?
Yeah,
no one's going to care. So if these guys can play and they fill a role either in the top 6 up front or the top 4 on the back end, no one's going to care. And we've said this all along. We're going to trust Bill until he gives us a reason not to. And right now, he has not given us a reason not to. Logan Cooley needs a big guy to play with him. Well, guess what? Daniil Boot is a big guy. So if Daniil Boot can go get the puck out of the corners and make plays with Logan Cooley, and they're a line that plays together for 5 years, the teams that win have those lines that stick together. The Boston Bruins are a perfect example. Those guys played together. So I'm as guilty as everybody. Just pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
And let's just wait because it's good. You also how excited Bill was?
Yeah.
And if Bill's excited about something.
And I mean, we threw up that draft pick, or the graphic earlier of all the times they've had multiple first round picks, and most of them were not good. They did not turn out well. But I think the other side of that is in the moment how many of those picks felt like good picks.
Right.
Or how many felt like
Brandon
this, right?
Gormley,
so
great pick. One of the best defensemen in the Central Canadian Hockey League at the time.
And here's the graphic we were referencing. Yeah, you see these
Mark
lists
Byzantine, under 18 team, Team Canada. He's the guy of the future.
Yeah. Woo! And again, you mentioned it earlier, you redraft last year's draft, Logan Cooley's number one. So you gotta take some time.
Yes. Everything's okay. Deep breath.
So I have an important update from my previous call-in from Show 1 where I mentioned the comment by Simashev about the steakhouse in Arizona.
Oh,
yeah. So I was joking with the scouts before we started talking to them, and I said he made this comment, what is that about? And they said that when they spoke to him this week, they said, you have to ask us a question. So he goes, how are the restaurants in Arizona? And I guess in that conversation, they had mentioned a steakhouse or something. So when he got asked at the podium, that's what
the only thing you got.
And that's why he made that comment. So that was
great.
That's the hard-hitting journalism I'm here for you.
They kind of set him up for failure. But I guess there was a steakhouse. There was a steakhouse. We got to figure out which one it is.
There are some good steakhouses there.
That's the journalism.
Steakhouses.
We need to get Craig on that. Figure out what steakhouse he was talking about.
Yes.
Well, we got to
go.
Listen, Listen, Craig's talking to his sources. I'm asking the hard hitting.
Okay,
questions.
so we got. I didn't want to put too much responsibility on you, but we got to. So if we don't get the answer to this question, you're the one to blame. You're going to be looking for the steakhouse.
All right, I'll do my best.
Thank
you.
you.
So Leah, kind of take us through like the rest of your night tonight. How is it looking now? Are you just about done?
Yeah, we're just finishing the video of BA and the scouts, hoping to get some stuff up on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes here in a little bit. Craig's somewhere else writing. It's pretty cleared out down here. Still a few people getting work done, and then it's to the rooftop with you guys. So looking forward to it.
And the feral people.
Yeah, I can't wait, Leah. I got to say, this day we've been looking forward to for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
It has been, but it's been a good day.
And I think we delivered some contact to some people in the Arizona sports community.
You guys did an incredible job.
Thank you, Allie. You did an incredible job.
Thank you, Allie.
You guys were
Allie, you're the goat too.
Yeah,
literally, she is the goat.
And I mean, I guess you could. Like, none of this is possible without any of us. Yeah. But, like, this literally is not happening if Allie doesn't go out of her way to fly out here and produce this show.
True.
Like, everything is
Thank
different.
you, Allie.
So we very much appreciate you, Allie.
Yeah. And our community, too. Like, the diehards that were out here.
Yeah,
the diehards.
the
We got CWP.
The diehards who
here,
flew
Chris
to Nashville.
Diehards flew here to
we
Nashville.
literally had people, we talk about the community all the time. We build a community that has people flying across the country to spend time, watch hockey, or I guess a hockey draft, not even hockey.
And Leah, you missed our little meetup. We had a happy hour meetup here at Love and Exile before with all of the
Awesome.
diehards and people that flew out. And I tell you what, we had so much fun. We had some good inside stories about stuff that really happens in a room. So people had some questions, and we got to talk hockey and tell the real truth behind the curtain. So it was a lot
Can't
of
wait
fun.
for tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll all be back here tomorrow. Craig, Leah, Mac, Shane, the people who are at Bridgestone.
Yeah.
We'll get to experience the
Oh, we got
dope
Kelly
that
here
is.
saying best trip ever.
Oh,
Kelly's
shout out Kelly.
Kelly's
Kelly's
on
here
the
with us.
chat.
Oh,
Kelly, we saw
Kelly.
Kelly. We saw Kelly. Oh yeah, she's fantastic. We saw them. Then they had the poutine. Her son had the poutine.
They had the poutine.
Not a traditional poutine.
Not a traditional poutine. So I'll be interested to see the Canadian things. It tastes very good, but it's more of like a mashed potato almost type of thing going on. It's pretty good. We'll see what you think about it.
Doesn't sound interested.
Yep, not fries.
All right,
It's
I mean,
good.
I'm ready. I'm ready
Trust.
to try.
And if that's not your thing, they got a bunch of. We had the meatballs.
Meatballs fire.
If you ever get a chance to come to Nashville,
I'm gonna hang up. I'm
Yeah.
gonna hang up.
Yo, are you really hungry? We literally have had 2 flatbread pizzas, like for real.
I'm
Frosé
literally
was
starving.
One of my favorite things.
Oh, the froze
So
drinks.
good.
Oh, that has Leah Merrill written all over it. The what do you say? The froze?
Frosé.
Froze?
Froze-
like frozen rosé.
Buddy, I don't know.
Like rosé.
What would be the last
Come
time I had
on,
a froze?
Petey.
You think I've
You're
ever had a
about to have
froze?
one.
The frozen, dude, it's a
Oh,
frozen.
stop
it's a
it.
frozen.
No, I'll have one now, but I didn't.
They got a bunch of frozen drinks here. I'm trying.
Leah, look at all the fun you're missing here.
She'll catch up tomorrow.
Yeah,
She'll shotgun
Yeah,
a
I'm
wine,
looking
a
forward
can
to
of
it.
wine, and get
go get out of
wall.
those shoes. Did you bring tennis shoes with you?
Yeah, I'm wearing them tomorrow.
No, but you have them with you now tonight, or you got to wear those all the way home.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh boy. Well, Leah, thanks again for checking in.
Yeah. Do you have anything else before we let you go, Leah?
That's it from us. Looking forward to catching up with you guys later, and looking forward to our recap show tomorrow. We're gonna have a ton to talk about.
Yeah.
You still have 10 picks. They have 10 picks to go. in
I
this
know.
draft,
Can you believe
so.
that? And I will say this tomorrow to get the whole the gang back together is going to be a lot of fun here at Love and Exile. I can't wait. And we
I'm
didn't tell
excited.
Craig this to his face, but he is going to be forced to shotgun a wine. Teased it. We teased it.
He is. Oh no, he's going to be required to.
Yeah, he's got required to shotgun a beer and put his can up on the wall.
I agree. It's a requirement.
It is because he talked about it.
That's it.
So I don't want to hear any.
Tell him. We can tell him. Brandon, tell them to.
Yes.
Oh yes,
It's content. He has to do it.
Content. Oh, can you imagine that? That's Twitter all day long.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Insta-face, all that.
All right, let's
stuff.
get Leah out of here. Her
Okay,
feet
Leah.
hurt. She's got to go home. She got to work.
See you, Leah.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
again.
I'll
Thanks
do
for
it.
calling in.
We'll see you.
Man, what a night.
What an exhausting night. It's one of those, like, you get through. We've been anticipating this moment for an Arizona Coyote fan since last summer.
Yeah.
And this is no joke. It's a year of Connor Bedard, Adam Fantilli, Leo Carlson, and all the names we listed. And we probably should have thrown in Simashev.
Yeah.
We probably should have. And we will continue to do Dmitri, Simashev, and Daniil Boot because we're going to talk the hell out of them all summer. Because we are here 5 days a week live. And guess where we're going to be next week? Do you know where we're next week?
Us personally?
Me personally, I don't think you're going there.
Where?
Buddy, it's development
Dev camp. Yeah, of course.
Dev camp next
I thought
week.
you were going like out of
No,
town
buddy,
or something
I'm
like
going to Dev camp
Yeah,
next
of
week.
course.
Coyotes, all these guys will be there except the 2 guys that we picked.
Yeah, I know. They're still stuck in the
Except the 2 guys we just picked. They won't be there. But everybody else.
guys, hopefully, unless they pick
Well,
all
we're going to
Russians
see some of the guys from
tomorrow.
last year's, too. We're going to see.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to
We'll
see Maverick Lammer.
Lamoureux,
Yeah,
yeah.
Lammer will be there.
Cooley,
so-
Gunther.
Yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see all those guys. I can't wait to see them. And this is just the natural progression of this development. And development camp, we're going to get our boots on the ground. And I said it a lot during the show, but we're going to be there at the ice stand. We're going to be. We're working on being there live, but that's harder than it sounds. But we're going to be there. They're there 4 days. We're going to be there every day. We're talking to everybody. We'll have everything these guys that they get, mostly the guys tomorrow, but everything they have to say. Well, Leo, you know how Leo was last year with the Chipotle order? Again, the hard-hitting news.
Yeah.
She got everybody's Chipotle order. What is your go-to Chipotle order? Not sure where she's going this year, but we'll leave her to it.
We'll see. So I guess looking a little bit ahead to tomorrow, I guess it's kind of hard to say specifically, but
yeah,
in day 2 in rounds 2 through 7, what is an organization looking to accomplish?
See, I think this with picks with the 4 picks in the 3rd round, I still think there's opportunity to move some of these picks. I'm not convinced they're taking 10 picks tomorrow. I just don't. That's so many picks. I do think one of the things to look for in the 3rd round tomorrow. We've talked about them
4
addressing
picks in the 3rd round.
We talked about them addressing their need at defense, and I think with Simashev, I think that starts that. I think they're going to pick another defenseman in the 3rd round. The other area and the other need we talked about in our draft preview show was in the net. And I think it's time that the Coyotes look at drafting a goalie. I think they will look at the best available goalie in the 3rd round. There were no goalies gone in the 1st round, which didn't completely surprise me today. Yeah. I would anticipate there will be a run on goalies at some point in the 2nd round tomorrow, so they might use their their 1st pick in the 2nd round to go after a goalie. So I would think in the early rounds, you're going to look for a goaltender and 1 or 2 defensemen. But then after that, we always say the best player available. After that, they're picking guys from the 3rd to the 7th round. They're picking guys that performed well in their meetings, guys that compelled in the combine, guys that have that Coyote factor. It's the extra thing that they're looking for. It's not going to be the next best guy. It's guys that fit. This guy fits.
Guys with high compete and size.
And that guy fits.
Got GMBA kind of players.
Yes.
Now, you talked about the goalie, those 4 picks in the 3rd round. Do you think you see them kind of try to package those up, maybe move up for another pick in the 2nd round?
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't be surprised if you see 2 of those packaged up for another pick in the 2nd round, especially if they've got their eye on one of the things we talked about.
Yeah.
If they've got an eye on that other defenseman, a 2nd pairing defenseman, or even you know what?
Yeah.
Even if you grab a 3rd pair defenseman that defends incredibly well, or if you've got that goalie with your eye on it that he's still there in the 2nd round, and you can package those 2 to move up, I do think there's an opportunity for this team to package a couple of these and move up in the draft, especially with other teams that are saying, gosh, I'm not quite sure what we need to fill. So, we'll take 2 guys in the 3rd round, and we'll give you our 2nd round pick. So I do think you'll see some movement tomorrow. I think I was surprised there was no movement today.
Yeah, so was I.
Craig summed it up as it was such a deep draft that everybody felt they got their guy and they didn't need to move to get him. I don't think that'll be the case tomorrow. I still think there'll be some movement and some trades tomorrow.
Do we still have the big board by any chance? Okay, that's fine. I was just because the only point I was going to make is just that they're like the Coyotes have a chance to get a decent player in the 2nd round.
Yeah, there's still some.
There were players in our board that were still
in the top 40
that are higher ranked than the guys that the Coyotes drafted.
That is correct.
That are still on the board. So here's one of the latest draft boards we have. Yeah, you look at what's that? Oh, this is okay. So this is final draft board. As you see there, Dmitri, Simashev, and Daniil Boot are 25 and 28 respectively. We got a couple players ahead of them, and a handful of players shortly after them in the top 5 or top 40.
And one of the guys we talked about yesterday in our mock draft was Ethan Gauthier. Yeah. And the reason we brought him up is he's born and raised where?
Minnesota?
No.
Oh.
Guess again. Phoenix.
Arizona.
Yeah, Phoenix. Arizona kid.
Just naturally. So, usually you asked that question a couple times during the draft, and the answer was Minnesota every time.
I know, but so I respect that. So there are some still, and you look at the top-rated goalies there at 34 with Rabel, Michael Rabel, and so the top-rated goalie didn't go in the 1st round, but he's projected somewhere early in the 2nd round, and I still believe once you see, look for Rabel, it's Hrabel, look for that name tomorrow. When you see him get drafted,
look for the goalies.
Start looking for goalies, and that's when you might see people trading to get their goalie.
Yeah.
I think they're waiting for that run of goalies and everybody's like, okay, we're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Where we're at. But as soon as somebody
you don't
takes
want to be
one,
late. I mean, it's like if any of y'all play fantasy football out there, you don't want to be late to the quarterback party.
That is correct.
Like all of a sudden you're going to be in the 5th round. And, you know, people drafted Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen early, but now you're stuck with
that is correct.
Brock Purdy or something.
Yep. You got it.
Full disrespect to Brock Purdy.
And Joel said, and Joel, by the way, we saw Joel.
Yeah, we did.
Shout out to
Shout out, Joel.
He threw Augustine in there as another goaltender from the U.S. development program. Look for him, too.
Yeah.
I'd like Augustine as a Coyote. I could deal with that.
I mean, I think we talk about this team's needs, and I think the defense has gotten a lot of attention. But I mean, everything we've heard from about Ivan Prosvetov, or not everything we've heard, but every time you talk about him or Craig talks about him, it at least. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your thoughts on him is he's not necessarily
We're not sure.
advanced the way that the franchise is hoping.
He should be the guy.
He should be the guy.
Yes.
So, and I mean, even if he's not, or even if he is, there's still not a great depth of goaltending talent or prospects on this team. So, even if you think that he can become that guy, you still probably need to shore up your goaltending in Tucson and so heavy. So
yeah, but they're going to get a goal. They're good. They will, and I'll say it now, and I don't know what I have to do if I'm wrong because I've been wrong before. I think they get a goalie tomorrow. Yeah,
I think that probably makes sense.
And I'm with Joel and Christina, by the way. They had a good time on the boat ride too. Augustine's a name I had forgotten, and he's a guy that I like.
Yeah,
I like him, and I've seen what he has done at the USNDP, and so we'll see.
Yeah, it would be good. Again, I mentioned this during the draft show. A little hesitancy with the USNDP guys, especially a goaltender, because you got to wonder how much better they look because of the talent they had in front of them. But regardless, I definitely think they need a goalie. And I mean, we talked about maybe Prosvetov not being where he needs to be. I don't know how much pressure he's necessarily felt in this organization either, in terms of having anyone breathing down his neck or anything like that. You draft a prospect in the 2nd round, maybe early 3rd round. Maybe that just, if anything, pushes Prosvetov a little further.
So here's the deal with Prosvetov. When he came into this team, incredibly athletic, competes very hard. He's a good kid. The problem and the knock on him in the American League is always he gives up that one goal.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable acrobatic, makes 5 great saves, and then that's one from the blue line. And you go, what?
What's happening? Yeah.
So that's the fear yet. You saw him in the National League where he got a taste of playing several games in a row. He would be dynamite. Yeah. Absolutely on fire, get a win for the team, and then the next night he had a really tough night, give up 5 out of 7. And you go, where's the guy from last night? So what he has to show this year down in Tucson, and I believe if they re-sign him, he'll be down in Tucson because they just re-signed Connor Ingram. Yeah. You've got like a Prosvetov. That consistency has to be there in the American League. If you want to be the next guy, and when I say the guy, I mean the guy, you have to dominate in the American League. You've got to be the guy that wins games every single night, consistently making the big save and making the save you're supposed to make. Yeah. And so once he can show that, if he can show that, he has to do it this year. This is the final chance he's going to get to do that. And that's if they re-sign him. I believe they will. And I believe we're going to see all this. The RFA stuff is going to start coming out over the weekend. Starting on Friday, we're going to start seeing all the qualifying offers for these RFA guys. And that's where we're going to see what happens to Ivan Prosvetov.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully, and I mean, you mentioned that struggle for consistency. Again, kind of on having someone pressure him a little bit. Hopefully that if they do draft a goalie, then you kind of get that feeling of like, if I have a bad night, there's someone else there. Yeah. Hopefully it brings the best out of him. But again, that's the time to tell. They haven't even drafted a goaltender yet, so we're talking.
Yeah.
Pretty hypothetically.
We'll bring it up again tomorrow. Because guess what? We'll be there tomorrow.
We'll be right back here tomorrow, sometime after day 2. Make sure you follow PHNX Coyotes on Twitter, PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter. Turn on the notifications so you know what we got going on tomorrow. It's obviously a little fluid because it has to be after the draft, so we'll see how long that takes. But yeah, I mean, any other kind of reactions to?
No, it's an exhausting day for all these teams, and right now the show is on. Like the general manager and the scouts and the teams are meeting with the families and the players right now. They're taking them back to the team hotel. They'll have a little, hey, look how great we are and all that. So they're getting to know each other and trying to give everybody the warm fuzzies right now. And I think then it's everybody's back to bed because everybody's got to work in the morning.
Yep.
And these scouts are right back at it. And this is their Super Bowl. And so far they've made 2 picks and they've got 10 to go. So the Coyotes scouts are incredibly busy. And I don't remember, did they wear the same suits again tomorrow?
Ooh, I don't remember that either.
I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
That's another thing.
That's the only thing you will only get from us.
Yeah, we'll get
no one else is going to be reporting on what they're wearing day 2.
Day 2.
But we get into the details. We get dirty like that.
Because guess who is going to the draft tomorrow? Buddy,
Us.
us.
Even Petey and I will be there.
We will be there tomorrow. And I think there's a rumor. Am I right? Is that the other dessert?
Ooh.
Or is that a bill?
I don't know. We'll see.
It's either
we
dessert
better
or
wrap
bill.
this up.
I'm not sure. Okay, we better wrap this up. You hit all the things you got to talk about.
I got a couple more things. Sweet
buddy,
baby.
Hello.
What do we got here? I'm gonna open. Should I open it up? You want to open it up while I read?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
You start reading.
We got new people. We got new players here, which means we got new Coyotes fans. Hopefully, their families. That means that we got new people that need Coyotes merch. Where do you go get Coyotes merch?
I know there's a place.
Oh, baby, that looks good. Where do you get Coyotes merch? Our friends over at FOCO, FOCO, FOCO. They're a leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise. If you see our offices, our studios back in Phoenix, littered with FOCO gear. They're the best. They got bobbleheads, they got hats, they got all different kinds of merchandise. I made this little Lego Lego D-backs logo that I spent probably time I should have been doing real work on, but it was for the set, so I think it was okay. And if you want to get like us, head over to FOCO. FOCO always has our back for Arizona sports, and they have yours too. Get the best gear around by visiting www.foco.com and using code PHNX for all non-presale items. Use code PHNX for 10% off. We also got to tell you about our friends at Four Peaks, who, again,
they came through.
They came through. This is not possible without our friends over at Four Peaks, the presenting sponsor for all of our shows here in Nashville. Honestly, the only bad part about this trip is that we don't have Four Peaks here.
We don't. We got to work on that.
We do, but hey, we fly back Friday morning. We'll be back at 7 a.m. I mean, we might airport beer when we land.
Buddy, that show, but when we land, we will not have slept all night tomorrow night. We get on a plane, then we're going right from the airport to the studio and doing a show live, 9 a.m., no sleep.
No sleep.
And a beer fridge handy. Look out.
Look out.
That's all I'm saying. Rails here, show here. Not on the rails.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go Four Peaks.
Let's go Four Peaks. If you want to check out our friends over at Four Peaks, hit them up on social at Four Peaks Brew and at Four Peaks Pub to get all of the latest on Arizona's premier craft beer. And don't forget, we love teachers. Shout out to teachers.
Yes.
Four Peaks of the teachers. They donate school supplies to teachers around the valley. Every year they give away $1,000 cash
So your
grants.
drinking helps teachers.
Yeah, it helps teachers.
Buddy.
It is good. It is drink for good.
There you go, Caleb.
Drink Four Peaks.
I know Caleb's worried about Caleb's a teacher. But he can support himself.
Support yourself. Drink a few Four Peaks. You can also, I'm not saying you should nominate yourself. Maybe go get a friend to nominate you. But head over to 4peaks4teachers.org. You got 2 days left. Nominations are due June 30th. You can nominate a teacher to win a special. They will win a renovation of their. One lucky prize winner will win a renovation of their teacher's lounge at school. Yes. Everyone else gets a chance to win those grants. And if you're a teacher, show up on Tuesdays. Bring your teacher's ID. You'll get $4 pints of Kilt Lifter while hazy and hop knot at the 8th Street Pub in Tempe. So like I said, they love teachers. Check them out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub. And as always, you must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks. And please drink responsibly.
Well, Caleb just said my drinking helps me too. So it doesn't just help teachers, it helps him too.
Hey, there you go, Caleb.
I respect that, Caleb.
We got a dessert here. So is there anything else you want to say before we wrap this show up?
I am so ready to wrap this up.
I'm ready for air conditioning.
Yeah, I think we're good.
We got it all.
It was a hell of a day. If you want more reactions.
Who do the Coyotes get in day one? Can we finish up with who the two players are just to wrap it up for today?
Dmitri Simashev, drafted 6 overall. Dmitri Simashev out of Russia.
Defenseman, big guy.
6'4"
at least.
6'4". 2 more years left on his contract in the K. And then hopefully we get to see him back over here. And then his teammate with the 12th overall pick, Daniil Boot, a big winger.
Could be 6'4", could be 6'6".
Could be 6'6", depending on who you ask. They didn't get a chance to measure him at the combine, as Leah said. But the name that keeps coming up in comparison is Tage Thompson. And he had himself
let's go.
one heck of a year.
So be fired up, Coyotes fans. We're over the depression. We're done. Now we're on to the future. Let's go.
Yeah, like I said earlier, there's been so many instances where you get excited about the pick and it's been terrible. So it can always work the other way. Thank you so much.
Thanks to everybody that came out to all of our diehard events. The guys that were on the boat ride. I saw Joel and Christina. Joel just made another comment. Thanks to everybody. The guys that came out here, and we'll see some people here tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah, you were fun.
It was
fun, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you so much again, Allie, for holding it down behind the Mac. The show looked good.
Phenomenal as always.
Because of everything Allie was doing behind the Mac. So we appreciate that. Shout out Craig and Leah, Mac, Shane for holding it down at Bridgestone Arena, getting us some good content for the
Fantastic.
draft show for this show here. Shout out Rudo and AJ for calling in, giving us their
Fantastic.
analysis afterwards. Shout out to everyone that we talked to in the lead up to the draft. Craig Button, Chris Peters, Corey Promen, all of them.
Bob McKinnon.
Bob Father, yeah. Everybody that we talked to that made this possible, we very, very much appreciate it. If you want more great content like this, leave a like on this show. Subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube page. Leave a comment.
5-star.
5 stars. Wherever you get your podcasts.
Twitter,
turn your
Insta.
notifications on. Follow the show at PHNX_Coyotes on Twitter. You can follow the big operation at PHNX_sports on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. You can follow me at Sean_DePaz on Twitter. You can follow Petey at SPetersHockey. You can follow Craig at Craig S. Morgan. You can follow Leah at Leah Merrill. Allie, where can the people follow you? Because Leah always shouts me out if you want to tell the people. If you don't want them to, we don't have to know.
I think Allie Monroy _.
There you go.
And I just want to say, you guys made it worth the trip. You guys
Thanks,
did
Allie.
such an incredible job.
I
So
very
I'm
much
so glad I was
appreciate
able to
that.
be here.
Appreciate you sitting through the bugs and the heat.
Real true warrior back there.
She is a warrior.
But that's all we got for you tonight. Well, like I said, we'll be back here tomorrow after day 2. I'll be back behind the mat where I belong. Leah, Petey, Craig will be holding down in front of the camera, telling you everything you need to know about who the Coyotes select on day 2.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it. So again, one last shout out to our friends over at our
Love
friends
and
here at
Exile.
Love and Exile for setting us up.
Fire,
set up, great
to the
food,
Nashville area.
great drinks, great environment. The people here were so kind in helping us get set up, so we very much appreciate that. Like I said, we'll be back here tomorrow. But until then, from Nashville, for Petey, for Allie, I'm Sean, and we will see you tomorrow.